Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video, simply put, I'll be bringing you guys a book haul, which is a video concept I have not done in pretty much over a year, like a proper sit-down book haul. Ever since last year, or pretty much recently, I haven't been buying or purchasing a whole ton of books. I don't know, there aren't a lot of good bookstores or used bookstores here in LA, which is surprising because I thought prior before moving down here, there would be a plethora amount of bookstores, to go to. There are, don't get me wrong, there's some really great bookstores, just not a whole lot of good used ones. I feel like the Bay Area is a lot more superior in that regard when it comes to just thrifting a used bookstore in general. I mean, if you guys have any recommendations, or if you know any used bookstores here that you guys frequent, please let me know, because I've still yet to find that one special place. Before we get further into the video though, I would like to thank today's video sponsor, Ana Luisa. So Ana Luisa and I, pretty much best buddies at this point. Even prior, before collaborating with them, I was already a loyal customer. They're essentially an online jewelry company that specializes in top-tier, high-quality, sustainable jewelry. All of their jewelry pretty much are top-notch, the quality is great, and the prices even better. All of their pieces though are really unique and special, ranging anywhere from an eclectic yet simple look to a more timeless and elegant feel. Let's quickly talk about the pieces that I'm wearing right now. I am sort of in like my silver era now, even though I used to just wear almost everything gold. So I have on right here a little bracelet called the Lisa Silver. I really love the simple twisted design to it, super comfortable, and even has like a little heart pendant at the end of it as well. It definitely runs on the smaller side though, even for me, but it fits perfectly here. The next set that I got that I'm wearing right here is called the Summer Silver. This is one of the pieces that I'm wearing that also comes with a heart pendant as well. And this one actually belongs in a set that comes with two necklaces. You can either wear them separately, pair them together. One is also thicker than the other as well, perfect for layering. Overall, all of these pieces are great. If you're looking for a birthday gift for a family friend or a loved one, or even for yourself, then look no further because I got you. I have a code that you can use to get 20% off of your purchase with my code, Elias20. The code and the link will be listed down below, and thank you once again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so before we get further into sort of the book haul itself, which isn't a whole lot, I've been pretty proud of myself, just having that restraint. And also it helps that I feel like I have way too many books now. I definitely need to do an unhaul. You know how they say when you have like 1,000 books, you've reached that threshold of becoming a librarian? I am pretty sure I have hit that threshold again. There was a time where I hit that threshold, sold books, unhauled it, was happy with the amount of books that I had. Over the course of a year or two, I have now become another librarian once again. It's a title that definitely comes with privilege. And, while I am grateful for this title, I just think for my sanity's sake, for Pyrrha's sanity's sake, just to make more room in general, just to pass on the books I no longer have interested in to people who might, love them more than I do, I think it's time. But before that, a book haul. But even before that book haul, I have something to show you guys. So do you guys remember that video where I gave you guys book recommendations based on A24 vibes? Well, apparently someone from A24 saw that video and reached out to me and was like, hey, I really love the video. Can we send you some bookish goodies? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Abso-fucking-lutely. So here I have today a bookish box from A24. They have the lovely A24 sticker here, and I've covered half of the box because stalking isn't cool, guys, okay? It could be under the right circumstances. Well, right on. First off the bat, really cool A24 sort of like emblem slip here. This piece of paper just details what's in the box itself. Have a little picture framed from A24's Talk to Me, which was a fantastic horror movie, by the way. If you are a fan of horror movies and you like paranormal supernatural shit, definitely recommend it. This was so different and unlike anything I've ever, pretty much watched before in my entire life. Apparently, the sequel is being called Talk to Me, okay? If you get it, you get it. So, really excited for that one. And we have a bookmark right here. So I'm pretty sure this alludes to one of the packages being Minari. Oh, as well as a pin. And this one is the Midsummer pin. If you know of the Mayflower Queen. So we have 3 packages right here. So we are going to open the first package. Okay. Oh my gosh, this package has 2 books in it. This one is a zine. And what is this one called? Oh my gosh. Okay, so flipping through this is a zine about the movie Past Lives, which is another movie I absolutely loved about these 2 different people who cross paths. Basically explores the idea of right person, wrong time, or the right time but the wrong person. And yeah, I really love the entire vibe and the aesthetics of this as well. Next is I actually don't even know. Oh, I think the A24 logo is basically just the entirety of this front cover. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I didn't know they even had this. This is an A24 planner, if you will. And the format inside is just really cool and really interesting, really sturdy as well. Oh my gosh, this is really interesting. They have the different formats of screens, of television screens on here. Next package is a rather big and sturdy one. Ah, okay. This is, I believe, the Minari screenplay. I actually have yet to see the Minari movie. However, I heard that there is like a little section in here or a little essay that is written by an author that I know. I think it might be Ocean Vuong. Let's make sure, actually. Aha, I was right. So there is a little essay in here that is written by Ocean Vuong, which is so fucking cool. So this is like the entire screenplay, and it features like behind the scene footage, some still photos, little excerpts here and there from different people. Overall, really cool. Okay, so we have the last and final package. Oh my gosh, what is this? Look at this cover. A vast, pointless gyration, is that how you pronounce it? Of radioactive rocks and gas in which you happen to occur. A trip through the multiverse. Whoa, is this Everything Everywhere All at Once? Whoa. It says in the table of contents there is an alternate take to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like different essays, interviews, illustrations. Oh, and a foreword written by Ted Chiang. Wow, that is so cool. Literally the format of this book is crazy. They have these like really cool inserts as well, like different forms. Bizarre, so wild, so cool. This random page that I flipped through right here, this one is written by Ursula K. Le Guin. Wow, I definitely did not expect a popular fantasy author to be on here. So yeah, that is the haul from A24. Holy shit. That is so cool. I love every single one of these. Thank you, A24, for sending these my way. Not sponsored, by the way, but hey, A24, if you're looking, I'm cooking. So I will literally treasure all these until I die. I guess we can quickly go over through some of the books that I have gotten basically throughout this entire year. In no particular order, but I have read and really loved is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. If you like books about books, there you go. That's pretty much all you need to know. Obviously, it expands a lot more than that. It primarily follows these two central main characters, these two kids. They're essentially in different parts of life, if you will, and how their story and the stories that they have affected with their presence all come together. It is just chef's kiss. I really, really liked it. I did like this better than his Prince of Thorns trilogy, but I fell in love with the cover, and also the idea of just a book about stories in general is what really, really drew me in. So this next book, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, is another book I read and loved, gave it 5 stars. This one was very enchanting, very ethereal. The writing in here is very, very good. I really liked it. It's about our two central main characters, enemies to lovers, if you will, or rivals to lovers in this case. And it's about this young woman who writes letters to her missing older brother, only for someone else to respond back to her. It's almost, in a sense, very historical with a sense of magic and fantasy sprinkled throughout. Very light on that aspect, if you will, as well. I actually didn't know how popular this book was on Book Talk. This was another hyped Book Talk read that I coincidentally and inevitably loved. Speaking of hyped Book Talk reads, I read The Foxglove King by Hannah Wynne. This is easily the worst book I have purchased thus far. Pretty much the worst book that I have read this year. This was marketed as an adult fantasy romance. Oh boy, that genre in of itself, it can be fun, you know? It's also very convoluted, extremely repetitive. However, in this case, it was just so boring. Nothing happened at all. Even with all the events in this book building up to that final third arc. What third arc? There was no twist, nothing. Like, everything that was supposed to build into anticipation, into excitement, to the conclusion of this book was just so mundane. But this was extremely disappointing. Did not like it. It wasn't a bad book per se. It was just boring, in my opinion. So I think I picked this one up, seeing the cover at Target, by the way. I also saw this one flying about Book Talk as well. But this one also has like a historical vibe as well. It's about this young girl in this portion of France, I believe back in like the 1800s or something. And she has this uncanny ability, of course, to channel the dead, necromancy, right? And I thought that theme in of itself was really interesting. But the execution, oh boy, different story. But surprisingly, there is another adult fantasy romance on here, another book that I got that I'm really, really excited to read because I've heard nothing but really good things, but I have a good feeling for this one, so we'll see. The other book is Lie With Me by Philippe Besson. This is another book I really loved, and this is also very short as well, as you can see. And apparently there's a movie, thank you comments. I didn't even know that there was an adaptation to this book, but I will definitely be watching. And this one takes place, I believe, in Germany this time, about a summer romance between these two boys. This had a more bittersweet ending, not explicably sad or tragic in that sense. It was just very bittersweet, as most gay books are, but I really, really loved it. It was a 4-star for me. So next up, we have A Taste of Gold and Iron. This is another gay political fantasy romance book about a prince who falls in love with his bodyguard. And I'm actually currently starting it. I'm reading this book actually with my Patreon book club, but my patrons and we have started reading this book for this month. And let me say, there have been some mixed reactions regarding this book. I think there are a couple people who have said it was really hard to get into this one, let alone even finishing it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm only like 30 pages into the book, but I really, really want to love it just because it has been on my TBR for so long. And the cover, the concept, just everything about it. I really, really want it to be a 5-star read. So we'll see. So the next book that I got, and this was used, is Half a Soul. I've actually seen this book floating around like on people's wrap-ups, their book hauls, and everyone who has read it has really loved it. And so I was like, genuinely curious. And apparently it's about a young girl who is cursed by a fairy. She falls in love with someone named Elias. Not Elias, very close, but Elias with one L. The main character, his name is Elias Wilder, kind of a hot name there. And that's pretty much all I know about it. I literally don't know anything about this book other than the fact that it's sort of like an adult's fantasy romance as well. So we shall see, but I've heard it's very cozy, very whimsical, and very beloved. So this next book, I wanted to show you this little notebook that I got at an LA book festival that I went to a couple weeks ago. I also filmed a mini vlog, an exclusive video for the patrons, so if you want to check that out as well. But this one is just like a simple saddle stitch. I think it's called saddle stitch, right? Because the back, and it has like the graph feature, so it's not entirely blank, but I prefer to have, some structure here where I can either write, jot things down, whatever, with a sense of structure to it. And the company with this is called Actual Source Books. All right, so earlier how I said I was talking about adult fantasy romance and how I was kind of excited to get into this one. This book is Fourth Wing. Okay, I've seen this book everywhere at this point. It's even surpassed most fantasy book recommendations that I get from Book Talk in general. Like, this is the number one, the it girl, if you will, the it factor for just Book Talk in general. I've heard nothing but just so many good things, and the rating on Goodreads, the rating is one of the highest I've ever seen in my entire life. I think the last time that I checked that the rating that this book had on Goodreads, it was like a 4.76. What the actual fuck? Like, what? Is it that good, or are you guys just fucking playing over here? Like, I truly do not know what to believe anymore. At this point, I've just been burned by so many Book Talk recommendations. I just don't know, what to trust. Even Goodreads at this point too, because the ratings for some of the books that I absolutely read have just been so abhorrent. I hated it. Literally some of the worst books I've ever read. All the Things I Never Told You by Lucy Score. Literally abhorrent. Honestly, when I first saw the cover, I didn't even care for it. However, this was another book I saw at Target. I don't know what the deal with Target is. You end up going in there for one thing and you come out with just so many different things, right? I'm sure you're all well aware. I saw this cover at Target and I don't know what it was, but you see how this was shining, right? It was so shiny. It was calling my name. I don't know if it was like a certain light trick or a certain light that was just shining on it, but it was shining into my fucking face. And I was like, you know what? You're coming home with me. I want to read you. I'm very curious to see what this book was about. All I know is that this book is about dragons and a militia school, students trying to survive and bond with their dragon. But the biggest reason why I got this book was because it reminded me of How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know why, I'm getting that vibe. Everyone that has been talking about it and explaining it, I'm just like, okay, so it's basically a fan fiction of How to Train Your Dragon. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm truly hoping, like, please, like, God, I know what I'm getting into. I know, it's gonna be very tropey, very cringe, but I'm not gonna be reviewing this book in that certain way, okay, in that certain light. What I'm hoping what this book will do for me is that it'll be fun. It'll be a fun romp. Because I did give The Serpent and the Wings of Night another popular hyped fantasy book talk book. I had a fun time with it. I gave that book 2 stars. It was pretty bad, but overall, I did have somewhat of a good time. So I'm hoping, this book will do that for me. At the very least, the bare minimum, please. Like, I sort of know what to expect. Like, I'm hoping this one will surprise me. I did a poll on Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm kind of more active there than on YouTube. It's just like, you know, a different side of things, but it's just Elias Reads on Instagram. I asked you guys if you guys would be interested in seeing like a reading vlog for this. I think I might do like a combination where I read 200 pages of just popular, different adult fantasy romance books for a week. So we shall see. I am curbing my expectations, you know, just a little bit because, you know, I don't want to DNF this because I did buy it. I don't know if I'll regret that later, so we'll see. What also really convinced me was also Sarah from Sarathon NH. Hi, Sarah. If you had watched her videos, she gave this book 5 fucking stars. 5 stars, Sarah? Really? So we shall see. I have read and heard all the 1-star reviews as well, and I was like, I will never pick that book up. But, you know, seeing this book praised, reviewed by so many different people, and just getting How to Train Your Dragon vibes, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Life is short, you know? I mean, life is short not to read just books you think you will hate, but also books you think you'll enjoy and have a good time. So we shall definitely see, but I'll keep you guys updated. All right, next up, we have The Atlas parody by Olivia Blake, and this is the sequel to the first book called The Atlas Paradox. Oh no. This is The Atlas Paradox. The first book is called The Atlas 6. There it is. I read The Atlas 6 back when it had the original cover. I think it was like self-published or something. And I read that in that format. And you know what? I really liked it. I think I gave that one 4 or 5 stars. I just really liked the idea of just powered individuals going to a school. One of my favorite tropes ever. I really like magical schools in general. And this one was no exception. It had like a dark academia element to it, and just 6 different unique people with these really cool abilities, which gave me Vita Nostra vibes. If you didn't know what Vita Nostra was, it's also about a magic school whose inhabitants have to go through so many trials and tribulations in order to find this hidden set of magical abilities within themselves. But these magical abilities are unlike anything you've ever read or seen before. They're very philosophical, analytical, if you will. A lot to do with things like metamorphosis, you know, reaching godhood, spirituality, astral projection. So that sort of unique ability skill set is something I'm very interested in reading about. And just the first book just felt more intellectual than your average superpowered magical school type of book, right? But this entire series underwent a huge change in like cover, format, and writing as well. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what happens next in the sequel. I believe this is a trilogy as well. All right, so folks, last but not least, we have Gods of the Wyrd Wood. Is that what this book is called? Yeah. So the sole reason why I picked this book up, mainly because 1, the cover, gorgeous, stunning. I think I saw this book while browsing Amazon or something. So anyways, I saw this book and I was like, wow, that is a really cool cover. And apparently R.J. Barker is a pretty well-known but underrated fantasy author. And I was like, you know what? I want to read it. They have also written another fantasy trilogy that's also very popular as well, that has to do with like magic ships, which is very similar to one of my favorite trilogy sets of all time, the Lias Ship Trader trilogy. Fuck, that was a lot of words. By Robin Hobb. I can't remember if I saw this review on Goodreads or Amazon, but they were like, y'all, if you like Princess Mononoke and just Studio Ghibli vibes in general, pick this book up. And here we fucking are. That was pretty much all I needed to fucking know. Reminiscent of Princess Mononoke? Are you kidding me? Like, I literally have yet to read anything remotely close to that vibe of Princess Mononoke. The whole vibe in general is just so unique and special. So I am really, really excited to get into this one. And apparently this one deals with a warrior who lives in this really unique, dangerous, popular forest that is known to have really dangerous mythical creatures inside of it. And no one really knows how to navigate it until this one character has to embark on this quest and implores his help. And obviously he has like a tragic, mysterious, secretive backstory. And yeah, things go haywire from there. But I'm really, really excited to get into this one. It has definitely caught my eye and I'm very excited. All right, and there you have it. That is the haul for this video. Please let me know if you guys have recently acquired any new or old releases. I'm just, you know, very curious, always nosy. Again, if you're looking for more exclusive content from me, reading sprints, monthly movie nights, a Discord, and just wanting to join a book club in general, I will leave a link to my Patreon down below where you can check it out. That is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you all soon with a new video.